Alrighty guys, welcome back here to another live stream, my friends. I hope you guys have all had a great Christmas so far, and I know I said I wasn't gonna do a video today, but the reason why I'm doing a live stream is to also make sure my software is working again, and it's also very important that we go live, especially because we are going to be talking about the potential for a multi-day severe weather outbreak. So hopefully that continues to not be the case, because we don't really like dealing with things like that. And like I said, that's one of the reasons why we are currently live right now. So make sure to stay tuned till the end of the live stream so that way you guys know what to expect, as this weather could be more on the dangerous side of things. So we will continue to watch that very closely as we get into the next couple of days. But like I said, though, hopefully that isn't the case, as we are still going to be seeing that happening. And I am hoping that my software continues to work a lot better, because from what has been going on during the past few days is that my software has not been working very well. I was really hoping that it was going to start working again, but it turns out that still might be having an issue or two. But from what I'm seeing right now, it actually looks like it's working really well. So I said, just hopefully that will continue to be the case, instead of having to deal with more software issues. So we'll definitely continue to watch my software and see what happens. But I am especially hoping that my software will continue to work as we get into the spring, because that's when I really need my software to work, so that way we can go live whenever there's severe weather going on. But from what we're mainly going to be going over, we currently got a special marine warning currently in effect for those areas down there in Louisiana, pretty much right off the coast there of Vinci. Hopefully, this won't be as bad of a storm, but this one is certainly capable of producing wind gusts of 34 knots or greater, and as well as some large hail. So we'll watch that one closely as that one continues to head into the Atlantic Ocean. Another storm that we're also watching is over here into parts there, the lower Ohio Valley, as we are actually currently dealing with some in the way of heavy rainfall across this area, as a lot of this band is actually heading up there towards Indy. So hopefully none of these rain bands will become storms. But what I do want to say, though, is that I do think that we will need to watch a lot of these, especially as they continue to head towards the northeast. And then not only that, we also will be tracking the potential for severe weather, like I said. So if we look at the latest from the Storm Prediction Center by refreshing the website, we currently have no severe storm threat for today, which is good news after all of what we had so far. And so we will continue to watch that. And like I said, hopefully my software is doing okay, because I don't really want it to be skippy right now. But anyway, though, once again, still going to be tracking the potential for some severe weather down there into parts there of Louisiana. So we'll watch that very closely as we head to this evening. And then the main day that we're going to be watching the closest will be tomorrow, as we actually have a slight risk for severe storms down there into parts there of Texas. And just to give you guys a little bit of a zoom in view, let's actually go ahead and go back to this website so that way we can show you guys that a little bit better. Because on day 2, we actually do have a slight risk for severe weather across eastern Texas, back up there into parts there of Arkansas, and as well as areas over here into central and as well as western Louisiana. With, like I said, we got that marginal risk and as well as that slight risk currently in effect for tomorrow. The main concern for tomorrow, at least from what we're seeing right now, will be the tornado threat, as we actually got a pretty big area that will need to be on high alert for tornadoes for tomorrow. Now, well, like I said, hopefully my software will be working as we get into tomorrow, because we actually might have to go live for this, guys, which is not a joke. We might have to go live for this, given the fact that we are going to be dealing with the potential for some severe weather, like I said. So we will need to watch that very closely by the time we get into tomorrow. We might also need to watch areas up here in the Central Plains for maybe some severe weather as well, but it's not really going to be as high as a threat as down here into eastern Texas and as well as Louisiana. And then for the wind threat, we do actually have a pretty big area that could maybe see 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts, which would mainly be produced by thunderstorms. So we'll watch that closely by the time we get into tomorrow. So definitely make sure you are paying attention across that area. And then for the hail threat, we also do have that risk for large hail too as well. So we'll watch that. But like I said, I'm pretty sure the tornado threat is what's going to be the main concern for tomorrow, as we currently got that in place. Let's see here. Robert Johnson says Merry Christmas. Let's see, Mr. Workaholic Sim. Thank you, Robert Johnson. I appreciate it. I didn't think I was going to be able to do a video or go live for today, but like I said at the beginning of it, I did go live because I had to test my software again to make sure it started to work. But like I said, from what I'm seeing right now, it's looking like it's working so much better than what it was working the last few days. So hopefully it will continue to be this way, so that way we don't have to deal with software issues. But we'll definitely continue to keep an eye on it closely, though, just in case my software does something kind of unexpected. But like I said, though, looks like it's working really well, so hopefully it will continue to be that way. And if it does, we will continue to stay live. And if you're just joining this live stream, like I said, I did have some software issues a few days ago. So hopefully those will start working again. Let's see here. Robert Johnson says working fine. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you telling me that. And I actually do have another screen that has my live stream pulled up, so I can kind of test it. I decided I would start doing that, so that way I knew if it was working. And like I said, it looks like it's working pretty well, so hopefully that will continue to be the case. But from what we were talking about before, though, still going to be seeing some in the way of severe weather for that area by the time we get into tomorrow. And let's see here. Sam WX says, where is the severe warning? The severe warning is down here in southeastern Louisiana, right off the coast there. This is a special marine warning, which is a little bit different because it's off of land, but it's currently in effect for 34 mile per hour wind gusts or greater, or large hail, which by the way, 34 knots is pretty close to 35 miles per hour. So we'll definitely watch that closely as we head into the next couple of minutes, because that is going to expire pretty soon. So yeah, we'll definitely continue to watch that. And that's not the only thing we're gonna have to watch for. Let's see here. Sam WX says your graph thing says severe warning 1. This is a severe warning, like I said, my friend. A special marine warning is just like a severe thunderstorm warning. It's just off the coast, and that's why they call it a special marine warning. So it counts, my friend. It counts. And if you guys wanna view that storm, it's actually pretty strong right now. Not gonna lie about that. Got quite a bit of lightning with that storm, and yeah, definitely looking quite bad as of right now. But by the time it expires, the severe thunderstorm warnings should go back down to 0, at least hopefully. And not only will we be doing with that severe weather, a few more things we also got to watch for during the next few days is one of which is going to be heavy rainfall. So here's your total rainfall for the next 7 days, which we are going to be tracking the highest potential for flooding anywhere from northern Louisiana all the way back up there into the lower Ohio Valley, especially areas south of Louisville. So that will be an area to keep an eye on closely, especially as we are going to continue to see a lot of that rainfall even start coming on down these next few days, which we could be seeing anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rainfall. So we'll definitely continue to watch that closely as we head into the next couple of days. So that will pretty much be from today all the way through the beginning of next week. So we'll definitely continue to watch that. And this won't be the only area to watch for. We might also need to watch for some flooding over here towards the west coast, as areas anywhere from Forks, Washington, all the way back down there near Coos Bay in California, and as well as Oregon, could see quite a bit of rainfall. Where you see those yellow colors, 10 inches of rainfall, which is really bad, especially given the fact that we have already seen plenty of rainfall across this area during the past few weeks. So hopefully it will continue to be at least not as bad as what we have seen. But like I said, though, we'll definitely continue to watch that. Uh-oh, looks like my stream might be skipping a little bit. I was not surprised that might have happened during the stream. I'm just gonna settle down for just a second, just in case something does start happening again. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Looks like that started working again. But anyway, like I said, though, still going to be tracking the potential for some flooding along the west coast, heading from Forks, Washington, all the way back down there into Florence, Oregon. So that will be an area, like I said, to continue to watch closely for as we get into the next 7 days, let's say. So we'll definitely continue to watch that. Back down here where we had that special marine warning in effect, that's getting ready to expire pretty soon. So I think we're gonna go ahead and cancel that warning for just a second. There we go. So yeah, we currently got 0 severe warnings as of right now, but we will continue to see those chances, like I said, persist as we get into the next few days. So we'll definitely continue to watch a lot of this area, including the deep south, closely for some potential severe weather by the time we get into the next few days. Let's see here. Ryan Leon says, "Hey, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Ryan. I hope everything has been going well for you. I'm not sure if I said your last name right, but if I didn't say it right, then you can correct me on that. But yeah, if you're just joining, guys, once again, my stream has still been a little bit skippy, but it sounds like it's starting to settle down. So hopefully, like I said, hopefully that will continue to be the case. So that way we don't have to deal with skipping again. But like I said, though, we'll definitely continue to watch it closely, and hopefully, if we do go live tomorrow, my stream will really start working again. Let's see here. Ryan says, "Thank you. Appreciate it." You too, Ryan. Like I said, I appreciate you joining me, and yeah, I hope everything has also been going well for you as well. So hopefully that will continue to be the case. And then not only that, just another quick heads up is the flooding outlook. Because, like I said, we will be dealing with a lot of heavy rainfall during the next few days. Because the main concern for flooding looks to be tomorrow, as we do have a slight risk for flash flooding anywhere from Arkansas all the way back down there into Houston, Texas, by the time we get into tomorrow. And the main concerns tomorrow, like I said, look to be severe weather and as well as that slight risk for flash flooding. So we will continue to watch that closely, and that will continue to move eastward as we get into the weekend with another day to really watch. And then the last day looks to be at the beginning of next week with a lot of that marginal risk for flash flooding continuing. So we'll definitely continue to watch that closely, my friends, and hopefully you guys are ready for a lot of rainfall, because it is the time of year when we would usually expect more in the way of snowfall compared to rainfall. So we're hoping that snowfall will return by the time we get into next month. But as of right now, though, for at least the next few weeks, does not look like that's going to be the case, as we will continue to see more of those rainfall chances persist. Let's see here. Ryan says 33 inches of snowfall so far since late November. So I'm hoping or looking forward to the rain this weekend and next week. It's a little bit different for everyone. Some people are saying that they want the rainfall because of how cold it's been. So sometimes rainfall this time of year is actually good, even though it is kind of unusual. It just depends on how you like it, but it's definitely something that we, like I said, will need to continue to watch for by the time we get into January, as even though we'll be dealing with that rainfall during the next few weeks, we will likely see maybe a change over to some snowfall potential by the time we get into our January. Let's see here. Northeast part of Pennsylvania. Northeast Pennsylvania has kind of been the bullseye this year, especially for snowfall. Pennsylvania has probably experienced, especially around the Erie part of Pennsylvania, has probably experienced like several feet of snowfall since November, like you said, Ryan. And 33 inches is only a few feet, but there has been way more snowfall than that in a few areas. I think Watertown, New York has also been another bullseye this year, as that area has also seen several feet of snowfall since November too as well. So yeah, we'll definitely continue to watch that area very closely by the time we head into the next, let's say, as we get into January, because more snowfall does appear possible in January. And let's actually talk about that, because for January, it's obviously gonna remain uncertain, no matter whether we're looking 10 days out or even 25 days out. It's gonna remain very uncertain on if we're even gonna see those chances for snowfall. But from what we know so far, after I pull this thing up, it does look like we might have some opportunities for some snowfall, because I did look at this a few days ago, let's say, because from now all the way to February 1st, which pretty much goes through the entire month of January, we could be talking about a huge swath of anywhere from a few feet to maybe even up there towards 7 feet of snowfall. Several feet of snowfall does appear possible across the higher elevations there out to the west, and this is very typical, okay? Very typical for this time of year to get a lot of snowfall in the higher elevations. While over there, out there towards the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and as well as the Northeast, you guys could see anywhere from a half a foot of snowfall all the way to a foot of snowfall as we get into the first few weeks or so of January. We'll have to see how it plays out, but that's the current current thinking as of right now, especially as we continue to head into the middle of January as well. So we'll definitely continue to watch that closely as we get into January. And then not only the snowfall, I also kind of want to take a look at the rainfall for January as well. As for January, we actually could be seeing a lot of rainfall for January too as well. Look at that, anywhere from now all the way to February 1st. A lot of rainfall definitely appearing likely across those areas as well. So we'll definitely continue to watch that as we get into January. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to see severe weather. That just means that we're going to be talking about a lot of rain, and you know, some of that snowfall probably even will count as that rainfall, and that's probably why it does want to show quite a bit. So we'll continue to watch it. Like I said, still gonna remain uncertain, even though we aren't heading like months out. We're only heading about a month out from right now. But we'll continue to watch it, like I said. So at least be paying attention for January, as it could be a more active than usual month. But here's another update if you're just joining, because like I said, at least for the title of my video, we will be tracking a lot of severe weather, because we did just go over the marginal risk for tomorrow, which, like I said, we are going to have chances for tornadoes, damaging winds, and even large hail. So that is going to be an area to really keep an eye on by the time we get into tomorrow. And then not only tomorrow, we also could be seeing another round of severe weather by the time we get into let's see, I think yeah, this is Friday. So by the time we get into Friday, maybe another small area to watch for, as places like Jackson, Mississippi, Alexandria, Louisiana, and as well as areas up there towards Shreveport could be at risk for some pretty nasty severe weather. Once again, the chances of big severe weather are probably going to be pretty low, especially because the atmospheric, or at least the dynamics that we need for severe weather will probably be cut off by the time we get into Friday, which means there will not be a lot of leftover ingredients for our Friday. But depending on how it goes tomorrow will really determine on how Friday goes, because like I said, if a lot of that energy gets used, then we're not going to have enough to really support much in the way of severe weather down here. But if it doesn't, then we could be seeing a little bit more of a risk for severe weather, which, whether it does or not, I'm pretty sure this will continue to stay marginal from what we know so far. So we'll definitely continue to watch that. And if any of you guys got any questions, feel free to leave them down in the chat. Like I said, I appreciate a lot of you guys joining my live stream. This is much appreciated, and I hope you guys are all still having a great Christmas. Same with you, Mountain Dew. I do appreciate you joining me, and yeah, I really do appreciate you all, and hopefully we will continue to keep you guys up to date. And so make sure to subscribe, and as well as click that like button down below, so that way you guys don't miss out on any future weather live streams that we do on this channel, because I will try to make my live streams better by trying to figure out more things that I can do, such as figure out all the mistakes and just try to make them look good. I'm still learning because I'm still a little young, but hopefully everything will get better and better, especially as we get into the spring, because that's when we might need to do several live streams due to severe weather. But yeah, once again though, still going to be tracking that. And as of right now, the Storm Prediction Center does not have a risk for severe weather over 4 days out. But another thing that we can look at is the Colorado State University, and as well as the SIPs. This is what's going to give us the good idea on if we're going to see severe weather pass 4 days out, because as you can see for day 3, like I said, that storm prediction center risk does stay down there towards Louisiana and Mississippi, while the SIPS also agrees on that too as well, which is kind of like the Colorado State University, just at a different website and a different company. And then as we get into it looks like as we get into Saturday, I think this is Saturday. Let me make sure this is Saturday, because I didn't double check to see if this was Saturday. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I think this right here that you see is gonna be Friday and the Saturday. So this next one that you see is gonna be for Saturday, okay? Because this one right here that you see is Friday, and so this next one is Saturday, as you can see. And the SIPS model actually wants to agree that we could maybe see some severe weather by the time we get into the weekend, which they actually show a slight risk for severe weather on both the Saturday and as well as Sunday, maybe even maybe even into the beginning of next week, as the Colorado State University still wants to point out some marginal threat. But like I said, though, that is going to be very uncertain, especially because we are heading over a week out from now. But we'll definitely continue to watch it, so hopefully things don't turn out to be as bad as what they really could turn out to be, but we will definitely continue to watch it. Let's see here. Ryan says, looking forward to thunderstorm season in 2025. Yeah. So am I. Like I said, I'm hoping that all of my live streams and all that stuff will be working very well as we get into spring. Cause like I said, I'm gonna try to really make them as good as I can, so that way we can really keep you guys up to date. Cause that's the main thing I'm probably gonna have to do in 2025 during the tornado season, is go live a lot, because that's something that a lot of people usually try to get prepared for. Let's see here. Chicago on Monday. For Chicago, Chicago is not going to be at risk for severe weather, my friend. Most of those severe weather is going to stay down to your south. So whatever we see isn't going to be anything bad, my friend. You might end up seeing a little bit of thunderstorm activity, but it's not going to be anything crazy, my friend. So definitely don't need to complain about it. But we'll continue to watch that storm, my friend. But like I said, it does not look to bring severe weather to your area. All that severe weather is gonna stay well down to your south, so you do not need to complain about that, my friend. You will be just fine. Let's see here. Mike says Storm is going to be explosive next season. Yeah, that could be true, my friend. That is still really far out from now, so we can't really say exactly if it's gonna be like that for 2025. But what we can tell you, though, is that 2025 could definitely be another big year for severe weather. So we'll definitely continue to watch that, my friend. We'll definitely continue to watch it very closely, especially as we get into the next couple of months. So we'll definitely continue to watch that, my friend. Yeah, so not only will we be doing that, a few more things that we'll also be tracking is maybe some January snowfall, because I just want to quickly take a look at the GFS model just to get a good idea on if we're gonna see a snowstorm or two in January, because out of right now it's currently updating, so I'm gonna try to select the model run behind it, because I have not looked at that one yet today. And yeah, some of you guys also might be asking about that too as well. And the only big thing that we might see in January would be this big snowstorm right here. As you can see, this big snowstorm that you see right there could be something to watch for. Now, once again, it's not gonna be like anything bad, but it's definitely something to watch for. And it's might change a lot. Okay, we are heading over 10 days out, so things are expected to change, but it's definitely something, like I said, to watch for, though, as January is going to be a very favorable month for cold and snowstorms, at least from what we're seeing right now. Let's see here. Mike says, any big ice storm coming in January? You already asked me that during the last live stream, my friend. But if you need another update on that, I can tell you that. Which, as of right now, the model does not really support much in the way of an ice storm. Maybe a little bit of isolated freezing rain developing as we get into the beginning of January. Now, once again, it's probably not going to be anything too crazy, though, because like I said, it might be something to watch for, but it's not really looking that promising as of right now. And if you guys heard that background noise, that's just my dad working on some things. So if you guys hear any background noise, I apologize, okay? I apologize for that, which I can't really do anything about that right now, but if let's say if you guys hear any of that, that's just my dad working on stuff. But like we were saying, though, we will still be watching that as we get into our January, and then as that heads out, we might also be tracking another snowstorm as well, but not really looking certain as of right now. But if you're just joining me, we'll give you guys another look at the Storm Prediction Center, which I don't think they did any updates as of right now. But once again, the latest from the Storm Prediction Center still pointing out some pretty big severe weather potential by the time we get into tomorrow, especially across eastern Texas, back over there into Shreveport, Alexandria, and as well as down there into Houston. Could even include Dallas, so we'll definitely watch that area very closely. Another thing to watch for tomorrow will also be those damaging winds. 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts does appear quite likely as we get into tomorrow, so we'll definitely watch that area. And then for the hail threat, we will also need to watch for large hail. We're not going to be seeing very large hail, but we could be seeing anywhere from an inch to an inch and a half in diameter hail for tomorrow, as conditions are going to be quite favorable. Now, will we need to go live for this as we get into tomorrow? Well, like I said, I will try to go live for this tomorrow, especially because things do look to start ramping up quite a bit as we get into tomorrow. But as of right now, though, I don't think it's going to be that bad, but I definitely do think we will need to watch it, as things could still get a little bit on the nasty side of things. So watch it for you guys, and so the best way to stay on alert is to, of course, like and as well as subscribe, and especially click that notification button so that way you guys get notified whenever I do go live. Let's see here. Mike says, I heard that supposed to be cold the next couple weeks in January, and as well as late January warm-up could be on the horizon. That is definitely something that might be on the table. Now, for a warm-up in the later part of January, that definitely is even more uncertain, as that's farther out, plus January is a month that we rarely see big warm-ups like that. But if you really need a good idea, we will go ahead and select back to this small over here. And for temperature during the next few weeks, we will start seeing warmer than normal temperatures as we head into the next 7 days. So that will be one time frame to watch for. And then our next big cool down looks to come from Saturday, January 4th through the 11th, which could mean well below average temperatures for the east, with maybe a little bit of a warm up out there for the west. And then as that heads out, we will continue to see those chances for warmer air persist. Now, like I said, my friend, for a warm-up during the later part of January, it does not really look like it's going to be a huge problem. as that cold air looks to probably be sticking around, because look at that, from January 3rd through the 10th of January, we got a lot of that cold air still sticking in the east, and as we continue to take this forward, it continues to stick around even as we get into later January, and might even continue to stick around as we get into later January and into early February. So definitely something to watch for, my friend, but probably not going to see a warm-up. From what I'm seeing right now, it's more than likely just going to be a big area of cold air that probably is going to last for a few weeks. So we'll watch it, my friend, but I'm not really seeing any signs of a warm-up in January, at least not as of right now. And yeah, that's definitely something, like I said, to watch for as we get into January. If you guys are wondering about the severe weather thermodynamics for tomorrow, because we did show you guys the risk for severe weather, but I think some of you guys are probably wanting to know like the CAPE, the wind shear, and as well as the moisture for tomorrow, which is what's going to give us the main idea on if we're going to see severe weather for tomorrow. And yeah, as you guys can see, for tomorrow, we will be tracking some in the way of severe weather as we get into tomorrow. Starting off by looking at the energy, we will see quite a bit of energy surging on into the deep south, which means we could be seeing some severe weather, like I said. And it looks like the day that we're going to have the most energy on is Saturday, but if we take this back and just look at tomorrow, we're still going to have a lot of energy around down here in Texas. And for how much moisture we're going to see, very favorable. We're talking dew points up there in the upper 60s, okay? That is going to be very favorable moisture for thunderstorms. And just taking a zoom in view about that, let's select Texas. Yeah, a lot of 60-degree dew points right there off the coast. Some of those areas even getting close to 70. Look at that, we got 70 pulling up there in Houston. And not only will we have a lot of energy and moisture around, the last thing that we're also going to need is of course wind shear. Okay, wind shear is what's going to cause the highest risk for tornadoes. So depending on how much wind shear we have will determine on if we see tornadoes or not. And for how much wind shear we're going to have, this is going to be enough to support tornadoes, my friend. We're talking plenty of wind shear in every part of the atmosphere. This is the lower part of the atmosphere, seeing plenty of wind shear across the lower parts over there towards eastern Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas. The lower part of the atmosphere in those areas on tomorrow will be enough to really help support tornadoes. And same goes as we get higher up, still going to continue to see that wind shear, and same goes as we get into the middle of the atmosphere, and even as we get higher up, still going to continue to see some of that wind shear. So definitely enough, like I said, to support tornadoes. And what's bad is that whenever you see a different wind speed in every part of the atmosphere, that's pretty much to the point where conditions appear to be very favorable for tornadoes. So it's something to really keep an eye on closely. Like I said, as we get into tomorrow, chance of going live, probably won't consider a high chance, but I definitely at least want to say there's probably about a 60% chance I go live for tomorrow. So not a likely chance, but definitely a chance that I may go live for tomorrow depending on how the conditions set up. So we'll definitely continue to watch that closely, especially as we get into tomorrow. And tomorrow won't be the only day to watch for. If we take this forward and look into Friday, we're going to go to the deep south so that way we can see, because the deep south is going to be the area to watch the closest, especially because it's going to be the area to see those best chances for severe weather. So if we roll onto the deep south, let's see, we should be able to find it. There we go, deep south. We shouldn't be seeing anything in the way of extreme severe weather for tomorrow, especially because the latest from this model mostly shows that Cape surging up there into Louisiana and as well as into Mississippi. We're still going to have enough to support a lot of thunderstorms around, especially in Mississippi, Alabama, so definitely something to really watch for by the time we even get into the weekend. But for just tomorrow, though, we're mainly going to have that best chance across Louisiana and as well as into Mississippi. And for how much moisture we're going to have, once again, plenty of moisture with some dew points getting up there at near 70. And finally, for the wind shear, once again, we are going to probably have some pretty good wind shear around, which once again is going to be enough to support tornadoes. And that wind shear actually does look a little bit higher for tomorrow than compared to today. So maybe another slight risk of severe weather. We don't want to say that there will be one as we get into Friday, but conditions will be favorable enough for at least some marginal severe weather, which is the only thing that the Storm Prediction Center has out for Friday. So watch it, but like I said, it probably will stay marginal unless something does get a little bit worse. And then the last day to really keep an eye on will be as we get into the weekend. And we gotta go back to the energy to look at that, because for how much energy we're gonna see as we get into the weekend, we're actually gonna see widespread CAPE around 1,000 joules per kilogram. So this is probably gonna be another day to really watch closely. And to be honest with you, I would probably watch this day even more, as we're actually gonna have more widespread 60-degree dew points across this area, which will make it even more favorable for severe weather. Plus, we will also be seeing, like I said, a lot of that wind shear around, which we will have, once again, enough wind shear to maybe support a little bit of an elevated tornado threat once again, which if we go back to what we were looking at before during the weekend, does want to show a slight risk of severe weather, at least for the SIPs. If you compare that to the Colorado State University, not as high as a threat with the Colorado State University, but definitely enough to where we could, like I said, at least be seeing some marginal severe weather threat as we get into the weekend. Let's see here. It won't be record-breaking cold next month. Who knows about that, Mike? I don't want to say that there will be, but what I do want to say is that the chances of record-breaking cold might be a little high, just because we are going to be seeing that potential for even a polar vortex next month, which is what a lot of people have been talking about lately. So we'll see what happens with that big surge of cold air as we get into January. Depending on how cold those temperatures are, will determine on if we really see record-breaking temperatures, which, like I said, the chances of seeing that for at least my opinion are going to be decent, especially because January usually sees a lot of its cold air, but it's obviously not a guarantee though. So we'll see about that, Mike, but I definitely don't want to say no to it, especially as January is really known for its cold and snowy conditions. So we'll definitely watch January closely, as a record-breaking cold scenario could be on the horizon. We'll see what happens. But once again, though, still gonna even be watching for more than just that. I kind of want to take a little bit of a long-range outlook to kind of tell you guys about what to expect as we even get into next year. Now, this is kind of just something that we might need to watch for, but I don't really want to say that this is really going to be the case, because we're gonna be looking months out if we look at this, because if we look all the way out till March, it does want to show above normal precipitation across the Northwest and as well as the Ohio Valley, which is kind of like what we're going to be seeing as we get into the next couple of months. So we'll watch March closely, and like I said, we are heading far enough out to where we will kind of be on the side of things where we won't really know exactly how things will play out. But from what we know so far, though, it does look like we could be seeing a pretty active severe weather season this year. No, not this year, but next year, 2025, as things could be on La Nina. La Nina is what we're also going to be watching for, and I'm pretty sure La Nina is also going to determine our severe weather pattern, but only if it continues. Because as of right now, we actually are in a La Nina. We are actually below that negative 0.5 mark, which, by the way, that is about a half a degree Celsius below average. Right there where you see 0.0, that's average, but since it's below that, we're talking below average water temperatures, and where you see that blue, the latest blue dot is where those water temperatures are, and holy crap, guys, almost a degree and a half below average. That is well below average for the sea surface temperatures. Now, I know that doesn't sound very cold, especially if you think about it that way, but just look at this, guys. A huge area of blue has developed, and it looks like more of that blue is just going to try to surge on in and surge on in. And if that continues to be the case, La Nina could last longer than expected, so we'll have to see what happens. But the more those water temperatures go below average, the more likely La Nina is going to last longer, especially because that's going to take longer for those waters to warm back up again due to how cold those waters are. So we'll see what happens, but La Nina is definitely looking to be on the likely side of things. So we'll have to watch that closely, especially as we get into the next few months, which I do think we will be in that as we get into March. So we'll see what happens. And if any of you guys got anything else to leave down in the chat, feel free to do that. We will continue to stay live for some more time, especially as we continue to get into tomorrow. Now, that doesn't mean we will or won't be live tomorrow. That just means that we are going to continue to watch the weather very closely, and tomorrow's definitely looking like a big day for severe weather, so we'll definitely keep you guys up to date on that stuff. And another thing that we also want to take a look at is the Climate Prediction Center outlooks, okay? This is also what's going to give us the good idea on if we're going to see above average or below average temperatures as we get into the next few weeks, because during the 6 to 10 day outlook, which is pretty much going to be for the next week or two, we are going to be seeing that potential for above normal temperatures across both the northern United States and as well as the west coast. We're not really seeing a lot of above normal temperatures, at least not compared to what we've been seeing during the past let's say during the past few days. But we'll definitely watch it closely, guys, especially as we get into January. And during the 8 to 14 day outlook, it's actually a little bit of a different story, guys, because during the 8 to 14 day outlook, we start heading more into January, which probably, I think this goes out all the way out to January 7th, which we are going to be seeing that potential for below average temperatures across the southeast, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and as well as areas down there into the deep south. That is going to be the area to really watch, guys. We are talking the potential for a pretty big area of cold air surging on in, which could definitely bring well below average temperatures to those areas south of the Great Lakes. So we'll have to see what happens. Let's see here. Ryan says, how about the rainfall amounts for Sunday storm and next week in the east? So if you're wanting to know what the rainfall amounts will be next week, let's see, because this the National Weather Service rainfall forecast only goes 7 days out from now. But if you really want to take a look at next week, we're going to have to go ahead and look at the European model to figure that part out, because the latest from the European model from now all the way to January 4th, which actually goes throughout the entirety of next week, much of the east is likely going to be seen above normal precipitation. We're going to be seeing above normal precipitation across the east, above normal precipitation precipitation across the western United States and even above normal across the northern United States, guys. This is going to be something to really keep an eye on, okay? We're talking the potential for a lot of storms rolling on through from west to east, with maybe even the potential for, like I said, some snowfall as we get into January due to that below average temperature probability as we get into the first few weeks of January. Let's see here. Mike says La Nina could emerge again in March, but La Nina came late this winter. That could determine for more La Nina in a few weeks to a month to find out if there's more La Nina coming. Yeah, that is true, Mike. But I'm just gonna be honest with you. This is about when we actually expected La Nina to merge in. You are right about how it did emerge in a little bit later than expected, but this is still about the time when we expected it to merge on in, and because we're seeing warmer than normal temperatures a lot, we might not be seeing La Nina as we get into the spring. Like I said, if those water temperatures continue to drop, we could see that last into the spring, but if those water temperatures continue to stay about the same, then we'll probably see those water temperatures go right back up to low end neutral phase, which will still be close to a La Nina, but in general will be more towards a neutral phase. So we'll watch it, but as of right now, our current thinking is like low to mid neutral phase, so just right above a La Nina. Right above La Nina status can be expected as we get into spring, but like I said, depending on how that plays out will really determine on if we continue to see those La Nina conditions as we get into our spring. And then, if you guys also want to update on the snowfall totals for the next week to 2 weeks, for your total snowfall, we will be seeing a lot of that potential for snowfall across the northern United States, heading from west to east. So places like the Cascades could get some feet of snowfall. Areas in Idaho could even see that. Places down there towards the higher elevations there in Colorado and as well as into Utah could also get a lot of that snowfall. And even areas all the way back there into New England. You guys could also get a lot of snowfall too as well as we get into the next 10 days, maybe even as we get into the middle of January. We'll see what happens, but that's what our current thinking is, as we might even be seeing a little bit of snowfall in between these areas, like the Ohio Valley, Midwest, and even the upper Midwest might be the area to also watch for, but those areas are always going to be questionable, especially because they're far down south than the areas that typically see their snowfall for this time of year. So we'll watch it, but it's obviously something that could change, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. And not only the snowfall, just a few more things to take a look at is also freezing rain. Because like what you were saying, Mike, we might also need to watch for an ice storm in January, which this model actually does show a little bit of ice. Because when we were talking about that earlier, it was the GFS model. Because the GFS model with the ice potential, if we quickly take a look at that, shows not as much ice, but if you compare that to the European model shows a lot more ice or freezing rain. Okay, so I don't, like I said, Mike, I don't really want to say that there will be an ice storm, but I definitely do want to say that there is the potential for that, especially as we get into the first few weeks of January. So that's just another heads up right there. So not very good model agreement, not very good certainty as of right now about that, but that's just to say that an ice storm still is looking possible. And sleet is also a little bit different than freezing rain, but we could still be seeing that potential for sleet too as well across those areas that might also see some freezing rain. So we'll see what happens. But as of right now, though, like I said, it's still going to remain very uncertain, but it's definitely something to still continue to watch closely for, especially as we get into the next couple of weeks. And if you guys got anything to leave down in the chat, feel free to leave that down in the chat, as we will answer a lot of your guys' questions. And yeah, if you guys also got like anything else you guys want to leave down in the chat, feel free to do that, as we will continue to stay live, as we also will be covering tomorrow, depending on how tomorrow plays out. But back to the radar again, just another update on the storms that are ongoing as of right now. We are still tracking that storm down there towards Louisiana, which does actually have the potential to produce a water spout now. That area does not really look to be impacting land as of right now, but it does look like it's heading to the northeast for how that box is shaping up. So areas up there towards Grand Bay in Alabama, up there towards Mobile, Gulf Shores, Pensacola. You guys need to make sure you guys are being on high alert, as this storm could be coming towards you guys. Even Pensacola, over there towards let's see, Myers Beach, and as well as Panama City. So we'll watch that closely as we get into the next few hours, as the storm does look to continue to head up there towards certain parts there of Alabama, and as well as the panhandle there of Florida. Let's see here. Mike says, I agree with you. We first had an ice storm in Windsor, Ontario, a couple winters ago in February, and the power went out for days. Bad storm in Century. Yeah, that does really sound like a bad storm, my friend. I have not heard about a lot of events like that in Ontario, because I mostly cover the United States, but I still cover Canada, especially when there's big things going on. Because for Ontario, that area does get quite a bit of snow. To be honest, that's even an area that usually gets even more snow and ice compared to the United States, at least on average. So it's definitely something to watch for in Ontario as well. But like I said, Mike, I definitely agree with that, as an ice storm still could be possible, and the likelihood of snowfall starts to drop a little bit as you get more towards southern Ontario, but it's definitely at the point to where it's still going to remain uncertain whether we'll see one or not. But it's definitely something to keep an eye on in Ontario as we get into the first few weeks of January. But yeah, we mostly talked about most of what we wanted to. If you, like I said, if you guys got anything else to leave down in the chat, feel free to do that before we end this live stream, especially because we gone over mostly of what we wanted to. The thing that we're going to be keeping an eye on the most will be that potential for a multi-day severe weather outbreak by the time we get into the next few days and even into the weekend. So make sure you are being on high alert, and I would especially consider clicking that subscribe button, and as well as that notification bell down below, so that way you guys don't miss out on my live stream tomorrow if I do go live, because I do think there is the potential I do go live tomorrow, especially given the fact that we are going to have that potential for damaging winds, large hail, and even tornado again. And I can show you guys that another one more time, as well, like I said, for tomorrow, gonna be seeing that potential for quite a bit of severe weather over there towards eastern Texas, southwestern western parts there of Arkansas, and as well as eastern and western parts there of Louisiana. And main concern for tomorrow, once again, is going to be that tornado threat. We could see maybe a few tornadoes, not going to be strong, but definitely a few EF0, EF1 tornadoes could be possible tomorrow. So we'll watch that anywhere from southwest plus Arkansas all the way back down there into Dallas and as well as Houston. And then for the wind threat for tomorrow, we're still going to be watching for winds, as anywhere from 60 to 70 mile per hour winds could be possible. And then for hail, we could be seeing that potential for even some large hail as well, as anywhere from one inch to maybe even as large as an inch and a half in diameter hail does appear possible as we get into tomorrow, but definitely not looking to be any larger than that. So I probably wouldn't complain about tomorrow, but if things really do start going, then we will definitely, like I said, try to be live on this channel, especially if my software will start working better, which I will try to look at that a little bit more this evening to make sure it's all ready for tomorrow. And like I said, best way to do that is to click that like button, click that subscribe button, and as well as that notification bell down below, so that way you guys don't miss out on any future videos or live streams that I do on this channel. So make sure to do that, so that way you guys don't miss out on that. And yeah, I hope you guys all have a great rest of your Christmas, and I hope you guys continue to stay tuned for more weather updates, and we will see you in the next one. Stay safe, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and consider subscribing so that way you guys don't miss out on that. And we will see you in the next one, everyone. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.